Now from the Weather Tracker TV Storm Studios, this is your weather today. Here's Chief Meteorologist William Cole.
All right, well, happy Tuesday, everybody. Hopefully you are staying nice and warm. It's really a continuation now of this Arctic air in place. We're going to be really bitterly cold one more day, but we do begin to pull out of the hole as we get into tomorrow, Wednesday. We're going to talk about that. A little bit of snow. Some of you folks woke up to a little dusting of snow around the Metroplex and some of our southern counties just a touch more. We will talk about that, but there is an outright snowstorm currently in the region. Not to our north, but to our south. I'm sure you've already heard down around the Houston area, over through New Orleans. I mean, this is a big time deal. We'll also get you caught up on some of those details over the next few minutes as well. But this would be your Tuesday. And again, it's just another day, mid-30s. I mean, it seems like I've been saying this now for the last several days. Arctic air remains in place for at least one more full day. The sun does return, though, this afternoon. Yesterday, we had a little bit more in the way of cloud cover. Today, generally sunny. One thing I think you're going to like, teens, 20s. These were your morning lows, very similar to the last several mornings out the door. Officially, the big airport, DFW, the official reading for the Metroplex down to 21. Again, teens and 20s around North Texas. Take a look off to the northwest. Bowie up along the Red River Valley down to 15. Again, earlier this morning. Yes, that is pipe bursting cold. So we still have a few snowflakes trying to fall down here. This is Freestone and Anderson County. As promised yesterday, the only real opportunity of actual snow accumulation essentially was down in our two most southeastern counties. They really didn't even get an inch, right? So essentially from the Metroplex, Interstate 20, and then again, locations to the south, there was a bit of a dusting. We had a couple reports in Hill County as well of a very light dusting. Again, for most of us, not a big deal in North Texas. There were no travel issues whatsoever. You head down Interstate 45, it's a completely different deal. It is snowing, ongoing snow down at Houston. Both airports currently closed. And again, this is a snowstorm with now even blizzard warnings in effect. Repeating, blizzard warnings in effect down along the Gulf Coast, even heading over towards the New Orleans area. So again, this is a big deal. There's the pink right there. That is, I mean, I've never seen that before. It's a blizzard warning for parts of Louisiana down along the Gulf Coast. Worth mentioning, the winter weather advisory that was in effect for both Freestone and also Anderson County, that has now been canceled from the Weather Service. Just quickly, I want to show this as well. No accumulating snow in North Texas, but again, if you do head down Interstate 45, especially down towards Houston, obviously travel not recommended, but again, essentially from the Huntsville exit locations to the south, at least right now, that's where the computer is putting accumulating snowfall, 3 to 4 to maybe even 5 inches of snow down in that direction. So obviously for the folks down in Houston, that is a big deal as well. So again, you can see this big deep storm trough. It continues to come out, again, aggravating all of that wintry weather again as we go through the day. But again, that will be in and out. And really truly as that begins to push off to the east, really this slug, if you will, right? This slug of Arctic air, you can see that continues to grip the nation. Tomorrow, it will begin to push off to the east. We'll get a southerly return flow locally in North Texas. And I can tell you, even though the southerly winds tomorrow return, Arctic air, it's very dense, and typically the data shows you warm up a little bit faster than you really do because you have to scour out this Arctic air. And so the bottom line is beginning tomorrow, and more so as we go through the rest of the week, especially by Friday into this upcoming weekend, that's when the true warm-up does begin. But the bottom line is it just won't be quite as cold as we get into tomorrow afternoon, but at least one more very cold night on the way. Otherwise, again, you can see the modeling. All that is basically quiet now as we head through today, tonight, and well, even as we go over the next few days. So mid-30s today, cold. Arctic air does remain in place. Again, if you are making any kind of Tuesday evening plans, trying to get out and do something, we're basically back below freezing as we go through the evening. Wind's fairly light, so not much of an added wind chill. Most of us back down into the 20s overnight. Not many teens tonight, but again, do you still need to drip the pipes? Again, remembering rather the 4 Ps. Absolutely, as we go through the overnight. And then here's tomorrow, again, with the return flow, a southerly wind trying to come back through the area. We're going to try and get a few 50s to go. But like I mentioned, we've really got to scour out that Arctic air. And again, truly, like I mentioned, as we get into Friday, into the weekend, I think that's when we're going to see the greatest improvement. But the bottom line is there is, beginning tomorrow, a moderating trend on the way, possibly watching for some rain by Sunday. More coming up.